We can work the system. Perfect.
Yeah, and I think just to follow up with what you were saying, Ryan, I think there is a way to do it to get everybody to focus, to encourage people to come focus on this one project, but also leave space for people to bring forth, you know, their own ideas too. But we just have to compartmentalize it, because like all these discussions, there's just so many things to talk about. I mean, blockchain and like ecology and regenerative agriculture, like these are just endless complex conversations.
Yeah, but if we speak about the template, so we know, okay, needed measurements, finance, product sales, right? We have like 5-6 categories that we need. That will be different in each country, potentially. Like it will be in some countries microfinance, some countries government subsidiaries, whatever. And need to build this map of what's needed, right, for regenerative agriculture ecosystem. Yeah, let's build that and then see what solutions fit there.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, the process of permaculture that Melanie is keenly aware of now. Like, you know, you observe, you collect information, and there can almost be an equivalent thing looking at the economic side and the social side of things that Cardano can play a role in. Yeah, I guess like the first step would, if it would be cool then to do a focused section on Ethiopia in the conference, and before then we should just be on a fact-finding mission. So I can yeah, I'll continue the conversation on Discord with Tafara and just see how we can put all that information, the relevant information in one place, and it'll be really interesting because we'll have Cohen there too to weigh in, and we'll just have all this information at our disposal, see where these challenges are, where these leverage points are, you know, and we'll try to come up with something. Maybe we can see the conference as sort of like set a goal as like, we're going to try to come out of this with like a more focused idea of like, you know, what this would look like as a proposal in Fund 8.
So organizing the information, you know, right now we're doing it on Discord in the Regenerative Agriculture channel. Any kind of links that go there, great. But, you know, like you're starting to talk about organization, and I'm looking at these snails and going, yeah, you know, there's the beginning of an idea, you know, and then it builds out and builds out and builds out. How are we going to build that out to keep that so that, okay, this is this project. Now the next project we hand over and you say, this is where you start and this is the path you take, or a similar path. But how are we going to organize it on GitHub?
I think in Miro, we need to start working on Miro board. Probably. I don't know if anyone knows that, but I'm starting to play with that. I mean, I don't know it from before. It's quite a cool one.
Well, Thibault could take us through it, right?
Yeah. Thibault can get us through it, and we can have a session with him how to start building what we spoke today, the template basically for regenerative agriculture project, and then feed the different project in.
Yeah, and then maybe in the future, the meetings that we have, we keep building on that. You know, because we do talk a lot, and it requires, at this point, it requires us to go back and listen to the recordings.
Yeah, that would be great to have a meeting that we're actually, like, I'm down to use Miro, but it might be good to familiarize people with it, like in the context of a meeting, like have the link, we all go in and we're seeing these ideas move around.
So
that would be perfect.
Yeah, just so like Dan did that with the GitHub. We have a demo on that one. Well, I'll reach out to Thibault about doing a demo for us on Miro board.
The demo, to call it a working demo.
Working demo, yes. Yeah, because he goes through mini proposal. It's basically a mini proposal, if you think about it. And he's already got a template for that.
Okay, so that's wonderful. I tell you about the project I'm working on. That's going to be, I'm basically in contact with one of the leading company that do land boundaries using satellite for agriculture. Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I want to bring them on chain to Cardano. Hey, Peter.
Hey guys.
Peter.
So,
So 7 minutes, sorry, 7 minutes, and we jump into Little Fish. Is that correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us more
So
about this company.
it's I'm basically in contact with the engineer that in the last 10 years focus on how to bring super resolution satellite images for a very cheap price. No one is doing it worldwide. No one managed to do it up to now. Okay, and he managed to do that, and is in the process of doing that. And I'm trying to work with him. Part of his technology went on this DigiFarm, which is basically it's a technology company from Norway that is doing land boundaries for agriculture, for agriculture land. And they did many projects up to now, and we are trying to bring them into now on-chain. So they're using my friend technology to do that. But then I'm going to do with him some other stuff as well about tree planting verification or forest conservation verification. It's part of the project I'm working on with him. So Cardano, for example, even Cardano, which is in, not Cardano, sorry, Cardano is here with Peter, but also can work for forest conservation. But even a very tree, to be fairly honest, they don't have a way to verify over time. They're going to do reports every 3 or 6 months or every year. But if you have millions of vectors, how do you do this report? Right? You need to have technology, satellite technology to measure.
Citizen science too,
Yeah,
right?
Citizen science also as well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would definitely need to talk to you more about this then, because obviously that's a concern in Cardano, right? Like it's simply not practical to verify every single tree over large hectares. But so the idea is evolving into like sampling, right? So like spot checking, and
Yeah.
having a human verification system doing spot checking, but we're going to have to use satellite imagery. But the problem I'm running into, which I'm very keen to hear more about from you, is that satellite imagery is expensive. And like OpenStreetMap, for example, OpenStreetMap doesn't have a satellite imagery layer because for that very reason, because they can't afford it. And
anyway, so let's have this discussion separately. Just let's close the regenerative agriculture one, and because we have 5 minutes, and definitely
They've
let's go
already
deep on
started.
that. Okay, we join them in 5 minutes.
Yep.
We will have happy to discuss that. I will have a few proposals on that to bring it on chain for Fund 8.
nice.
And exactly to connect it to Cardano, to Veritree, and to other projects. And as well, the land one is to create land registry as a base for agriculture land, as a base for regenerative agriculture, microfinance, all of this
Yeah.
stuff.
You've seen our Landano proposal as well, right? We're trying to do that as well. So,
I just saw it now, yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
so we need to talk. Sorry, I was in a Discord channel and somebody said, "Hey, we're having a Zoom call." I didn't know any context other than that, so I just popped in. I'm sorry to hijack it, guys.
It's okay. We got
Yeah.
4 minutes. You can hijack.
No, before the 4 minutes, Tyler, how do you want to close this call? It's your call. We hijacked a little bit for all the directions.
No, that's beautiful. I'm so happy you're here, Peter. But why don't we do our next regenerative meeting at on the subject of Ethiopia? We'll make sure Tafara is available, and
we call Thibaut.
just fact-finding mission.
Yeah, so
Okay,
action plan, actions.
Let's do it this week.
Okay.
And I believe it's Tigane. Tigane
Oh,
is
is it?
his
Okay.
real name.
Yeah.
I don't pronounce it correctly yet.
Well,
but
that'll be
that'd
the first
great.
fact that we can have him clarify.
Yes, and we'll record them. So focus on Ethiopia. I'll contact Thibaut about the working demo on the mini proposal idea. And
But poor
I'm
Dimitri.
and
Dimitri
I'm also
is coming always with so many projects, and we need also to help him on something. But
yes.
okay.
Well, we're
I
gonna deploy his solar cookers in Ethiopia.
Right.
Okay.
And
Good.
somehow
Is this for
we'll
the food for the pets? We'll use the solar
Yes.
cookers, right? Perfect.
yeah, we'll channel him through Little Fish. I believe that
Okay.
would be really important. Dimitri's one of the ones that told me first about the dead land in Sri Lanka. So he's so significant. I need to contact Tommy or Tony from,
Tony, I can give you his Discord.
okay,
I
if
will
you
give
can
you
do
his
that,
Discord.
can you do that in Telegram for me, please?
Yeah, I will share it with you on
Okay,
Telegram.
perfect,
Yeah.
because we're gonna shut off really quick. What else are we got going here? Can you who's gonna double check with Cohen that he can come on in?
I
or
checked
his-
with him. I spoke with him today.
For February,
told
is
me-
okay?
Yeah, he told me February will be good. I'll need to let him know a couple of weeks in advance on the date we decide.
Okay, and what about having him involved in organizing the event?
Yeah.
Do
Look,
we
I
wanna
will
make-
invite him to the next regenerative agriculture call that we will have. I will tell him join us and give your input. Let's try to get him involved.
Okay. And what else
Okay.
do we have to get done here?
And we can ask him to get involved. We just need to define to him what we need from him. But I will try to get him in the next meeting once we decide on it. Let's decide the next meeting date, and I will ask him to join.
And as far as Emergle's concerned, we just haven't heard back from them. Is that right?
Yeah, and even Felix sent to number 2 at Imago, and he didn't hear back yet. So a little bit more patient.
Okay, and
We need a
then,
few more days.
yeah, and we can all research more on regenerative agriculture plus blockchain in the meantime, right?
Yeah.
And let's put
Yeah, and-
links for now in the Discord channel, regenerative agriculture under those. Can we just organize them there for now?
Where? In the Discord, yeah.
In the Discord channel.
Yeah.
Is that good for you, Ryan?
Yeah, that works good. I mean, really, we need to have a Genesis block for this project. And I'm going to focus on how we get a Genesis for this Ethiopia tract of land. And to me, that's working with Landano or creating an NFT, because we got to have something that shares these interactions that we start here. We need a Genesis.
What is a Genesis block?
How we represent the beginning of this land on blockchain, that then we have all these other pieces attached to.
And would that be Gimbal Labs?
Gimbal Labs, Landano, how we get a quick Genesis block that all of our interactions then go through. And then if we need a Genesis. Where does this land start on the blockchain?
Can you do that? Can you figure that one out?
I'll start chasing down some different options.
Awesome.
And there's going to be a couple, it may be 2 or 3 blocks until we figure out how this works. Because as we do this, I don't think we can go all in one direction. We need to figure out how this looks and then play with the pieces. And we might have, again, your parallel, your
parallel convergence.
And we might have a couple parallel tracks to figure out how this is going to work, but we need to represent the land somehow. And then we can start with that and see where it goes.
Yeah, Landano's doing that, but like we won't even get started on that analysis until March if we get Fund 7 funding. So just like Cardano, so it might not be in the same time frame, but even then we're going to be doing it on testnet, and I would suggest probably to do it on testnet. I get the idea to get started, Ryan, but like the danger of obviously is that you create the wrong foundation, or you make some mistakes along the way, and then it gets kind of written in stone, right? So I would almost like treat it as like, say, call it a pilot project with, on testnet, and then trial balloon all the stuff there. And that's a place to bring all these different things together. And, our projects can come in and form and learn from, and vice versa, and kind of cross pollinate, and then get to a point where you can say, okay, we're ready to launch this on mainnet, right? And then like just for Landana right now, the focus is on legal land title registry. So Ethiopia wouldn't fit with that scenario. That's why I'm so fascinated by it.
Yeah.
I think the technology obviously is we want to repurpose and leverage for all these other kind of scenarios as well. I'm very systematic about this, going about this in like layers, right? So I want there to be, if whatever push comes to shove, even with these Ethiopian land contracts, I'm very interested to learn about the legal basis, so that if you do start, the community does start investing time and resources into this, that there is some kind of legal backing to fall back on in case the government ever, I mean, we can't stop like military force. Obviously, there's lots of issues in Ethiopia, but that's my kind of like methodology. Like I'm like an archivist, record keeper. I move a little bit slower than you do. So, but I think the two should kind of work in parallel, I guess, right?
Both
100%.
and. Both
Yeah,
and
exactly,
I hate
exactly.
to cut you guys off, but we're cutting into little fish time. If you go into the
Yeah.
Telegram chat,
Let's
you'll
let's
find,
set up a next meeting.
yep. Next
To continue.
meeting, do we have a day, time, or just do it on
I
Telegram?
don't know, Thursday, Friday. Let's do it on Telegram. Let's join. Not
Okay,
to leave Chem
Thursday,
alone.
Friday, Telegram, next meeting. Okay,
Yep.
awesome.
Bye.
Tyler,
Bye,
I'll
everyone.
get a hold of you for figuring out where to drop that recording that you're doing right now.
Okay.
And let's jump
I can put
into
it up on
Little
YouTube
Fish.
too.
Doing little fish.
Let's dive into Little Fish.
Mm.
Okay,
All right.
Peter, join us there as well. Bye.
thanks you
Okay.
guys. Okay, ciao.
Yeah.
Nice having babies on board.
Oh yeah. Baby on board.
Baby on board. Awesome.
See
Thank
over
you,
there.
Tyler.
Bye. Yep. Thank you. Of course.